Okay. Another episode. Hey, welcome back to another episode. Happy Friday. I have really enjoyed releasing these on Fridays. If you watch them on Fridays, cool. If you don't, that's great too. These, I won't promise, are going to come out every single Friday. I really, as I step away from Instagram and social media and that like rat race of just constant content, I am very, very aware of not letting myself get into an energy state of obligatory energy. So, what I mean by that is like showing up to something just because you said so, but really your energy is not there. You're not creative. You're not centered. And it's interesting because I am creating these videos that you've been seeing lately while I'm inside like a 100-day filming challenge. When it comes to creativity, I know for myself, I'm a sprint kind of person. I'm a go hard, go creative, go full into whatever I'm doing. And then I need to take like some weeks off. I love this as a dancer when I was creating works. I love that I could go into a project and then step out for a period of time. I really enjoyed that. It really worked for who I am, revamping this channel, in creating even like my business with Clayton, and very much thinking of this. When am I showing up in obligation and this like resentment kind of energy and this just like not fully connected? And when am I showing up authentically me? And where am I allowing myself to be pulled in and this is the way it has to be, and back into the rat race of things? As I'm like putting out content, as I'm creating, as I'm just living in my life, I really want to shift into a more gentle fluidity with everything, more awareness within myself. And each of us is unique in that. One thing that has really helped me understand myself is being able to ask myself questions and not necessarily come to conclusions, because conclusions then lock it in and we don't want to lock anything in. We just want to allow awareness to be what it is. And it is a great tool to create choices. We can choose different things at any given time. And just because our choices has led us to something does not mean that we're then locked into it. We can make a different choice and redirect ourselves or direct ourselves in a different direction altogether. Also, what's really helped is knowing my human design. I absolutely love human design. I'm actually very excited. I have a book on order to help me even further understand it because I know the basics. But basically, I came out as a manifester, which really makes sense. A lot of my friends are actually Manny Gens and generators. And I was like, okay, cool. Understanding who I am from a human design perspective, mixing in questions, not letting anything be a solidity for me, has helped me fine tune how I work, really be okay with how I work, and schedule my work around how I work best, and really not going to judgment about it. However, there are times where this obligatory energy comes up. And even filming this video, this is the second time I filmed this video. And when it first came up into conversation was when I was like, Clayton, I don't know what to create today. I wanted this challenge. I really like doing this challenge, but I have zero creative energy. I have zero thoughts going through my head. It's day one of my period. I am not creative. I am not focused. My brain is elsewhere. My body is elsewhere. It's doing her thing. But I really want to stay consistent here. And so he was like, okay, well, let's chat. And I'm like, it's obligatory energy is coming up. And so interesting, I started talking about it and I was like, okay, I'm going to film this because why not? So I know I just said don't show up in obligatory energy and show up when you're in flow of something. I guess what I'm trying to say here today is observing oneself and understanding what works best for you, understanding that you never, ever have to show up for anything that you don't feel like you need to show up for. Really, truthfully, you can say no to so many things. And I think if we were empowered to say no more often, we would really find out so much about ourselves. And also to have this awareness of what you may need to show up for something. Maybe that is, I need more of a break. Maybe that is, I need more of a conversation. Maybe that is, I need something to hold myself accountable to something, but not as a like ball and chain aspect, but something to continuously spark me and to get me into this flow of it flowing, whatever that is. So for me, for this challenge, my friends are hosting it from Awake Abroad Media. It's about just getting people really comfortable with being in front of the camera. Now, I am comfortable with being in front of the camera, but I'm not always comfortable recording the content that's coming into my head in the moment. I had to look at myself the other day, which I was like, I am really not creative right now. And this topic of obligatory energy is coming up. And I saw it as an opportunity to, in the moment, go film my thoughts. So I even looked back at it today as I'm re-recording this, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am all over the place with this topic. So I'm going to re-record this, but I am so glad that I showed up just for my own self. And this is what I think we forget, is that even if we said yes, but something in our world is giving us an awareness that we need to shift something around, we need to make a different choice here, we can then say no. I think when we say no to something after we've said yes to something, there's this immediate then like, you're not trustworthy, you can't stay accountable to things, you aren't completing it, you're not holding up your end of the bargain. We go immediately into these judgments. I guess my question here is like, if we didn't go into the judgment of it and we were just being aware of something, the things can move around. And again, I really do think that if we were encouraged to do that, we would have such more ease with the fluidity of our worlds and less friction points. And also, we would get the awareness of when something really isn't working or aligned with us. Because if we kept saying yes to something and then we're constantly having to shift it around, it's a very good indicator to then ask or be aware that maybe that person really doesn't like this. This is not aligned with them, or it's not aligned with you, or there's a reason why this keeps falling through the cracks. Maybe it's not the time. Maybe it's not the right person. Maybe it's not the right collaboration. You're not in the right space. Whatever that is, I think being able to give ourselves the opportunity to say yes, say no, come to that moment and be like, is this obligation or am I actually flowing with the energy here? And if you're not, look at it, ask a question. For me, and when I was filming, I was like, I can feel something coming up. I also want to be able to film things as they're coming through me, letting myself off the hook, being like, I actually don't have to share any of this shit with anybody, but I am going to go talk about it. Maybe I'm doing a horrible job with this conversation. Maybe it'll come up again, but I did want to present this opportunity to look at your own world where you're doing obligation and showing up in obligatory energy, and what it could look like and change and shift if we could step into that space of honoring our yeses and our nos and being okay with changing it and seeing how it can be rescheduled in life, or give you awareness as to what's actually really not working and what really is working without judgment at all, and just have it be what it is. And the information and the data that it gives you helps you choose constantly. On that note, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in another video. Peace.